I'm 102 years old, and I need to tell you something that took me nearly a century to understand. For most of my life, I was the strong one, the one who never complained, the one who handled everything alone, the one who kept my feelings, my struggles, and my pain locked away inside. And you know what? That almost destroyed me. Not almost. It did destroy parts of me that I can never get back. But before I tell you how I learned this lesson, I need you to understand that I'm not some weak person who couldn't handle life. I built a successful business from nothing, raised 4 children mostly on my own after my wife passed when I was 48, survived wars, recessions, personal tragedies that would have broken most people. I was proud of my strength, proud that I never burdened anyone with my problems, proud that I could handle anything life threw at me without asking for help. That pride nearly killed me, and it definitely killed relationships that I can never repair now. When I retired at 72, I thought I had it made. 30 years ago now. Can you imagine? I've been retired for 30 years. I had saved enough money, built a comfortable life. My children were grown and successful. I thought retirement would be relaxing. Finally, time to enjoy life after decades of hard work. But something strange happened. Without work to distract me, without problems to solve, without challenges to overcome, I started to feel empty, hollow, like I had spent all these years building a shell of a person and there was nothing inside. I didn't know how to relax, didn't know how to just be, didn't know how to connect with people without some practical purpose or problem to solve. My children would call and I'd keep conversations short. Surface level. How's work? How are the kids? Everything's fine here. Click. Goodbye. I never told them how lonely I felt, never shared that I was struggling to find meaning, never admitted that I didn't know who I was without my work identity. I kept it all inside. Always had. That's what strong people do, right? Wrong. So terribly, devastatingly wrong. Then, at 87, I got sick. Really sick. Pancreatic cancer. The doctors gave me 6 months, maybe a year if I was lucky. Suddenly, I wasn't worried about being strong anymore. Suddenly, all those walls I had built, all that emotional armor I had worn for 8 decades, it all seemed ridiculous, pointless, because I was about to die and I realized that I had spent my entire life hiding from the people I loved most. I had never really let anyone in, never really shared what I was thinking, what I was feeling, what I was afraid of. And now, it was too late, or so I thought. My daughter Sarah came to visit me in the hospital. She's 64 now. Can you believe that? My baby is 64. And she sat by my bed and started talking about memories from her childhood. But they were all memories of me being distant, me being too busy, me solving problems but never really being present. And then she said something that broke me. She said, "Dad, I feel like I never really knew you. And now you're dying and I'm going to lose you without ever understanding who you really were." That hit me like a physical blow. Here I was, 87 years old, dying of cancer, and my own daughter felt like she never knew me because I had never let her. I had never shared myself, never been vulnerable, never opened up about my fears, my dreams, my regrets, my feelings. I had been a provider, a problem solver, a strong figure, but never a real person to her. And it wasn't just Sarah. It was all 4 of my children. It was my friends, the few I had left. It was everyone in my life. I had kept them all at arm's length, kept everything to myself. thought I was protecting them from my burdens, thought I was being strong, but really I was just being alone. And I had wasted decades of connection, of intimacy, of real relationship because I was too proud or too scared or too stubborn to let anyone see the real me. So lying in that hospital bed, thinking I had 6 months left, I made a decision. I was going to stop hiding. I was going to start sharing. I was going to let people in even if it killed me, which it might have, given my condition. But I didn't care anymore. I started talking, really talking. I told Sarah about how scared I was when her mother died, about how I cried alone in my car every night for 2 years but never let the children see, about how I felt like I failed as a father because I didn't know how to be emotionally present, about how proud I was of her, but never knew how to say it properly. And you know what happened? She cried, and then she held my hand, and then she started sharing things she had never told me, her struggles, her fears, her regrets about our relationship. And for the first time in 64 years, we really connected, really knew each other. It was like meeting my daughter for the first time. And then something unexpected happened. The cancer treatment worked. Not completely, but enough. The doctors were shocked. I'm convinced that the emotional unburdening, the connection, the sharing, it gave me a reason to fight that I didn't have before. When you're alone, when you're isolated, when you've kept everything to yourself for so long, a part of you just wants it to be over. But when you start connecting, really connecting, you want to stay. So here I am, 15 years later, 102 years old. I'm not in perfect health. I have good days and bad days, but I'm alive. And more importantly, I'm finally living, really living, not just existing behind walls. These last 15 years have been the richest of my entire life, not because of anything I've achieved or acquired, but because I finally learned to share myself with others, to be vulnerable, to let people in, to ask for help when I need it, to express my feelings instead of burying them, to tell people I love them, to admit when I'm scared or confused or lonely. My children know me now, really know me. We have conversations that matter. We share our lives, not just surface updates. My grandchildren, some of whom are in their 40s now, they come to me for advice because I finally learned to share my wisdom instead of keeping it locked away. My great-grandchildren, I tell them stories, real stories, about my failures and fears, not just my successes. Because that's what connection is. It's not presenting a perfect image. It's sharing your whole self, including the messy parts. I've made more real friends in the last 15 years than I had in the previous 87, because I finally learned that friendship isn't about being strong together. It's about being human together. It's about sharing burdens, not just pretending you don't have any. And here's what I want you to understand. You don't have to wait until you're 87 and dying to learn this lesson. You don't have to waste decades keeping everything to yourself. You don't have to be alone inside your own head, thinking that's what strength looks like. Real strength is vulnerability. Real strength is admitting you need help. Real strength is sharing your pain so others can help carry it. Real strength is letting people see you, really see you, including the parts you're ashamed of or scared of or unsure about. I see people today, especially men, especially people raised like I was, and they're making the same mistake I made. They think being strong means handling everything alone, never complaining, never sharing struggles, never admitting weakness. And they're building the same hollow existence I built. They're creating the same distance from their loved ones that I created. And one day, they're going to wake up old and realize that they wasted their whole life hiding from connection. You know what the irony is? The things I was most ashamed of, the things I kept most secret, when I finally shared them, people didn't judge me. They related. They had similar struggles. They felt closer to me because of my vulnerability, not more distant. All those years I spent protecting my image, protecting my reputation as the strong one who had it all together. And it turned out people would have loved me more if I had just been honest about being human. Your relationships are probably suffering right now because you're keeping too much to yourself. Your parents might not really know you because you don't share your real thoughts and feelings. Your children might be growing up thinking you're invincible, which means they'll never come to you when they're struggling because they'll think you won't understand. Your friends might think you have it all together when you're actually falling apart inside. And here's the worst part. Keeping everything to yourself doesn't just damage your relationships, it damages your health. There's research now showing what I learned the hard way. Emotional isolation kills people. Literally, it increases risk of heart disease, cancer, depression, early death. Your body isn't designed to carry everything alone. Your mind isn't designed to process everything in isolation. You need connection. You need to share. You need to let people help carry your burdens. It's not weakness. It's how humans are supposed to function. We're social creatures. We're designed for connection. When you deny that, when you try to be an island, you're fighting against your own nature, and eventually your body and mind will break down under the weight of it all. I'm 102. I don't know how much time I have left. Could be days, could be years, but I know this. I would rather have these last 15 years of real connection than the previous 87 years of isolated strength. I would trade all my achievements, all my success, all my pride for more time to be vulnerable with the people I love, because that's what actually matters, not how strong you appear, not how much you can handle alone, not how independent you are. What matters is connection. Real, honest, vulnerable connection. Sharing yourself. Letting people in. Admitting you need help. Expressing your feelings. Telling people you love them. Asking for support when you're struggling. So here's my advice to you. Whether you're 20 or 40 or 60 or 80, stop keeping everything to yourself. Stop pretending you're fine when you're not. Stop hiding your struggles because you think that's what strong people do. Call someone you love and have a real conversation, not about the weather or work or surface stuff, about what you're actually feeling, what you're actually struggling with. Share something you've been keeping to yourself. Be vulnerable with someone. Ask for help with something. Tell someone you love them and why. Express gratitude for the people in your life. Let someone see the real you, including the messy parts. I promise you, the relief you'll feel, the connection you'll experience, it will be worth whatever fear or discomfort you have to push through. You'll wish you had done it sooner, just like I wish I had done it 87 years sooner instead of waiting until I thought I was dying. Don't make my mistake. Don't waste your life keeping everything to yourself. Share your life with others. Let them share theirs with you. That's what we're here for. Not to be strong and isolated, but to be human and connected. I'm 102 years old. I've lived long enough to see what matters and what doesn't, and I'm telling you, connection matters. Vulnerability matters. Sharing yourself matters. Everything else is just noise. Don't wait until you're my age to figure this out. Start today, right now. Reach out to someone. Share something real. Let someone in. Your future self will thank you for it.